Maryland's Music City Bowl victory made it a program record third consecutive bowl win heading into the offseason. And for head coach Michael Locksley, important decisions at key positions are on the horizon to keep the unprecedented success rolling into 2024. Welcome to Big Ten Network. Welcome to College Park, Maryland, the annual red-white game in the finale of Terrapin spring football practice today. Going to get to see some fun position battles play out in an important offseason for the Terps football program. Welcome you inside of the booth. Jason Rush Jr. alongside Adam Brenneman. Megan McEwen is with us as well. Talia Tungavailoa was the face of this program over the last few years at QB. And Adam, today we have a few guys trying to slide in and take over the reins.
Yeah, this Maryland quarterback battle is one of the storylines of the Big Ten this spring. Right now it is a wide open race, three-man battle. First up is Billy Edwards, who was the starter in the bowl game last year. He's a dual threat guy, runner first, but when you watch the tape, he can also throw the football. Now he has to keep developing as a true passer. Then we have Cameron Edge, who's the true pocket passer in the race. He's got a big arm, can make all the throws across the field. Now he needs to truly take command of this offense and show that he can make throws to the left hash and the right hash. Then we got the wild card in the race, MJ Morris, the transfer from NC State, former four-star recruit in high school. He's got all the ability in the world. He can run, he can throw, he can create. Now, how fast can he pick up this offense? This race is going to come down to the wire.
Well, Adam, flip it over to the defensive side of things. You have 7 returning starters along with several faces that have a ton of experience, too.
This may be the best defense Mike Locksley has had in his tenure at Maryland, and that front 7 is lethal, the defensive line and the linebackers, and it's going to be important that that group gets after opposing quarterbacks with the inexperience they have in the secondary. The two guys I'm looking at are Donnell Brown, the edge rusher, and Jordan Phillips, the interior defensive lineman. Those guys have to cause havoc.
We're going to have some fun position battles to watch. A lot on the line. Culinary consequences as well. Winner will get steak and lobster. Loser will get hot dogs and beets. So a ton to watch for today on Big Ten Network. Welcome back to College Park. Let's say hello to the third member of our crew, Megan McEwen. He's down on the field with Michael Locksley.
Thank you, Jason. Coach, for the first time in a long time, you have a battle at quarterback. What are some separating factors you need to see from your quarterbacks today?
Well, I mean, anybody that's going to play behind center for us is going to be a guy that takes care of the football first and foremost. You know, great quarterbacks, most of their drives end in kicks, whether it's extra points, field goals, or punts. And so we've got a competitive room. The guys have competed really well, and I'm very interested to see how they perform today under the lights.
Not only a competitive room, competitive teams. We're playing for steak and lobster, hot dogs and beans. What do you need to see out of this game today?
I think, one, I want to see everybody healthy. This is going to be one of these quick games. I want to get out of the game healthy, but first and foremost, just the fundamentals of the game, blocking, tackling, throwing, running, catching.
Looking forward to it, Coach. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Coach. Well, Ryan Capriati will kick us off today. See Billy Edwards there, one of the QBs we will be diving into and dissecting throughout the course of the afternoon in one of the Big Ten's most notable QB battles of this offseason. Ready to go to cap off spring practice in College Park. So, Adam, when we talk QB competition, your criteria for a QB being clean and trying to win a competition?
Yeah, right now in the spring, it's all about control. Who has command of the offense? And what's that look like? It looks like no penalties pre-snap, getting everybody lined up, no false starts, keeping the ball off the ground. And we just heard Mike Locksley say, ending drives and kicks. So that's punts, field goals, extra points. Reserve the right to punt, but you just can't turn the football over.
The white team will be on offense first. We have white and red today. You see Billy Edwards trotting out there. He started the Music City Bowl win. Not only did he start it, he was the Music City Bowl MVP. A dual threat guy, known for his legs, but of course can throw it as well. And he hands it off here to Roman Hemby, who has been Mr. Consistent throughout the course of this offseason. Mentioned red-white team. Let's take a look at the spring game format. So you have traditional football scoring, running clock until 4 minutes remaining in each half. white team, you see first team on offense, as we've watched, second team defense, and the red team, second team offense, first team defense. And this QB job, again, it's wide open. Again, Billy Edwards started the Music City Bowl. He's going to go down deep along the sideline there. Had intentions for Caden Prather, who's one of their top returning wideouts, and a dangerous set of skill players for this Maryland team offensively.
That's been the question for Billy Edwards. Can he throw the football down the field? That time right there, he had Caden Prather, his dynamic wideout, who had a step on the defensive back. Edwards has to put that ball in stride, allow his receiver to go up and make a play on the football.
And Billy Edwards, as we talked about with Coach Michael Loxley, was in packages where they would deliberately run him a lot, as Tunga Vailoa took most of the passing duties. So, of course, the responsibilities expand for Edwards now. He rolls out, expanding this play, and a nice defensive play made there and broken up. There's Kevis Thomas, the young DB.
One of the advantages that Edwards has is just sitting behind Tunga Vailoa for a year and getting to see how he operates, one of the greatest players in Big Ten history, right? So the knowledge that he's going to gain from just knowing this system, he has the leg up right now in this quarterback race.
Another position we're going to be looking at is cornerback. And Kevis Thomas is a guy who's definitely involved in that competition. A couple of open spots as Tarheeb Still departs to the pro level. Same with Jaquan Shepard. Another wide open room. Howes will punt it away here. Now the red team will trot out for the first time. Cameron Edge, the QB, wearing number 12 in the yellow jersey, is who we're going to see come out. An Edge, a guy known more so for his throwing ability, not so much for his legs.
Yeah, he was really good last year when we saw him sparingly. See 6 of 9 passing, 100 yards. He just looked in control at times, and he's got a really accurate arm. But when you're not as mobile, like he can't run as well, you better be very good throwing the football. So he's got to throw it well today.
They run it on the first play and promptly met in the backfield. Good defensive play there from DJ Samuels, a guy whose name we could be calling quite a bit today.
Watch Samuels here, right side of the screen, come off the block. Great job of just using that explosiveness to come down the line of scrimmage. You see, he's so athletic, big, long. He's going to have a big season.
The defensive front that they're really confident in. They're really confident in the linebacker group. Seeing several guys in the white defense right now who could be starters when the fall rolls around. Play over along the sideline.
Really nice throw here by Cameron Edge, all the way to the sideline. Accurate football.
Robert Smith made the grab there. Lionel Whitaker made the tackle. Do have a flag. They get a face mask call there. It's going to set this red offense back. Edge got some throws in that Music City Bowl win as well. Was 4 for 6 in that game through the air. They go to the same side, looking for the same target, Smith, but out of his reach.
Cameron Edge was the top-ranked quarterback coming out of Delaware in high school. He played a ton of ball in high school, so he's seen a lot of football now, and he knows this offense. Now it's just about calming down. He can throw it accurately. We saw him just sail that one out of bounds. He's got to put those throws on the money. Those are easy completions. They're kind of just an extension of the run game because it's so easy out there. Just pick up 5 yards.
Maryland offense that averaged 29 points per game last year. Was top in several statistical categories, top 5 as he goes to Szymanski that time. One of the tight ends and a group that they really like at that position, but it will be 4th down and a 3 and out for this red offense, their first try out on the field.
Saw 2 3 and outs now, and that's normally what you see in spring ball, especially in a quarterback competition. The defense is usually ahead of the offense, especially when you got a quarterbacks trying to figure it all out.
Segovia will punt this time. And that is another thing you don't want to see in the spring game, still trying to get the timing down on special teams, and you mentioned the receivers as well, so working out the kinks. Talked about Billy Edwards. He's going to trot back out here at QB. His not only throwing ability, but a running ability has been very key in this offense the last few years.
They've used him in these running packages to make sure Tagovailoa didn't get hurt, and he was really efficient. They used him all over the place in the quarterback sneaks, in the Wildcat game, and he kind of got this reputation, Jason, of being a running-only quarterback. I asked Mike Loxley yesterday about it, and he was not having it. He said we wouldn't have recruited him if he couldn't throw the football. He's accurate. He can throw it down the field. Now he's just got to put it all together, use that running ability, and also show you can be a pocket passer when needed in big moments.
He's a guy who constantly picked Taulia Tagovailoa's brain and learned a lot from Tagovailoa as he flips it out here to Nolan Ray, one of the running backs who's been making a lot of, in their words, wow plays throughout the course of this spring. All the guys are wondering which team would Nolan be. That was the big question mark.
And watch number 9, Gote here. Really nice job tracking this football down. Coaches are excited about him. See him run from all the way inside out to close to the sideline, showing the athleticism.
That depth on the defensive line once again on display there, right in the interior. Jordan Phillips, who's been putting in a lot of time in the weight room, a lot of time getting reps after practice on a daily basis.
Phillips has a chance to really be an elite defensive lineman, one of the best in the Big Ten. He's got the size, he has the strength. Talking to the coaches yesterday, just has to be a little more compact in his movements. When you're so big, you can't be out of control. You got to be quick and twitchy inside there on the D-line.
Coaches use the phrase lane integrity when it comes to their defensive line in our meetings. Another short pass over the middle to Ray. That's complete.
Pass complete to Nolan Ray.
So the defense, talked about Jordan Phillips. He's one of the returners. There's Ruben Hippolyte, another. You got 7 on this list here. And it's a group that you're really confident in because of those names and more.
Yeah, Keelan Watt's really one of the guys to watch. He's a great blitzer, big athlete. He's long, he's rangy, can run sideline to sideline. He just needs to become even more elite. Have that consistent level. Can you do great things consistently? I think Keelan Wyatt has a chance to be that kind of player.
So again, that defensive line they're confident in, linebacker room really confident in. We're going to watch those DB spots quite a bit today, both cornerback and the secondary positions. Talked about Jordan Phillips. We're going to send it down to Megan McEwen, who has more on Phillips.
Jason and Adam, Jordan Phillips is the type of player that has been putting in the extra work. He's staying an hour after practice, pushing sleds, watching film, doing all of the little things, trying not to just sharpen his physical shape, but his mental shape and his football IQ as well. Somebody the coaches are very high on as we head into this upcoming season.
Yeah, 28 tackles last season. Florida native, now a redshirt sophomore, and bound for what could be a big season along that D-line. Cameron Edge back out for the Red offense. A redshirt sophomore from Clayton, Delaware at the controls. And they'll run it on the first play of this series right into the teeth of the D, and so far it's been defense showing up and stopping these running backs.
The other part of this quarterback battle, the reason today is so important, it's pretty base offense, right? They're not showing a lot, not putting anything on film, but it is the first time that these guys, these quarterbacks are on television. The first time they're in the stadium with fans here. You know, they're on Big Ten Network, right? It means a little bit more right now. How do these guys respond to that? Are they calm? Can they look? You see Cameron Edge getting everyone lined up right now, telling the receivers where to go. That's what you want to see from your quarterback.
It's a big upcoming year for the program, trying to continue the success they've had the last few years and consistency they've built from the ground up with Michael Loxley. Again, looking down the sideline a little deeper this time. Had intentions for Smith, who he connected with a couple of times on that opening drive, but running right there with him was Mormon, DB from District Heights, Maryland. This Maryland program has won 7 games 3 consecutive years. First time since the early 2000s they've done that. Got to go back to 01 through 03. And the 3 straight bowl victories. First time ever in program history that they've done that.
Loxley's done a great job of just building this program. He's had a vision. He's recruited well, obviously recruited the DMV. We heard every coach yesterday, Jason, say we are a developmental program. We are going to develop guys here, and they've done a great job of it.
They've done a great job of getting several players deep into the depth chart involved in regular season games. So a lot of these guys have experience as they go up the middle and right into the gut of that defense with Eli Mason, the 6'1", 215 back from Virginia.
Nice run by Mason here, but watch the offensive line. Opening some holes, couple bodies on the ground. That's exactly what you want to see. And this run game for Maryland's going to have to be good in 2024. You're getting a new quarterback. You're replacing some offensive linemen. Going to have to be able to run the football, which they struggled with last season.
It's a spot where they want to improve. And up front, they're trying to replace several key names along that O-line. So it will be a work of chemistry and building up reps when it comes to the defensive line. Neo Avery got involved in the tackle there, a redshirt freshman that they're really excited about.
Yeah, Neo Avery's a guy that can really get after the quarterback. I talked about how important it is to pressure QBs when you have an inexperienced secondary. If you can pressure the quarterback, everything kind of takes care of itself. Your coverage doesn't have to be quite as good, and they're going to count on Neo Avery to do a lot of that.
Go back to the ground once again. That defense stepping up along the line. Tavon Nelson. What looks like kind of a blitz package for him to step up and make a big play. It's an O-line, we talk about it, that is trying to replace the 2 tackles, Gottlieb Ayedje and Delmar Glaze. Delmar Glaze was just drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. Center as well as a position they're trying to fill. Few key transfers that we'll delve into throughout the afternoon. But the tackle positions, of course, you pair that with a new QB and the center spot. That's big.
Yeah, there's a lot of change on offense, which is why the defense has to be great and the run game's going to have to come to play.
Smith on the reception on the sideline there. His 3rd catch of this opening quarter for the red team.
It's a good job here by Cameron Edge. Again, nice throw to the sideline. Smith runs a good route. Right on the money, exactly where you want it to be.
Robert Smith, a Houston native. His dad was the GM of the Houston Texans for a decade. Dad Rick, who played football at Purdue, comes from a Big Ten family.
The other thing we're looking for, Jason, in the quarterbacks, we just saw it from Edge, is can you make routine plays routinely? Can you just get the ball out there and throw it accurately? And Edge has done a decent job so far.
We use the term game manager, which can have this negative connotation to it. But like the coaches said, if you can manage a game well, you can win a game if those other things can come together. You, of course, want the big plays that Talia Tagovailoa was able to bring to your offense the last few years.
Well, the number 1 stat if you're a quarterback is wins.
Yes.
That's what matters the most. And winning sometimes means reserving the right to punt. We heard Mike Loxley said in his interview with Megan on the sideline, we want drives that end in kicks. That includes punts. Reserve the right to punt. Just don't turn the football over. And that's part of game management. We saw a quarterback who's been called a game manager his whole career just get drafted 10th overall, J.J. McCarthy. Proved to be one heck of a player. He's going to have a great NFL career, but he was a game manager when he needed to be at Michigan.
Great spot for him with the Vikings. So now MJ Morris, say hello to Maryland fans. Maryland fans, say hello to MJ Morris, the QB that is now involved in this offensive series, transfer from NC State. Made 6 starts last season. And let's go down to Megan on the field.
Coach, first couple of drives, defense stepping up in a big way. What have you seen from them?
You know what, all spring long, as we start evaluating this thing, we're going to have to win in a lot of different ways. And I like the way our defense is coming along. A year ago, they took a big step, and we've got some really talented players over there. I'd like to see us just up front. We're not covering people up, haven't moved the ball like I thought we would be able to, but we still got some time left.
What are you hoping to see from your quarterback specifically? Or you see Robin Hemby right here coming up here, his development. He's working on trying to read the 2nd and 3rd levels of defense. How have you seen him improve in that aspect so far this spring?
So you hit me with 2 questions. The first one, you're talking about the development of the quarterbacks. And, I think both sides, we're going to see them all in different situations. What I'm looking to see is how they manage it. When you got a 3rd and 14, understanding you're not going to necessarily get the first down, but you want to gain things that allow you maybe to flip the field position. With Roman, you're right. Making the next level guys miss is the next level for Roman. He's the epitome of what a Maryland football player looks like. Coming in not highly recruited, but a guy that's developed and made himself into a really good player. God, man, we got to throw that thing over the top and outside. Leave it outside.
I was going to ask about MJ Morris and what you like about his game specifically.
You know what? MJ has had a lot thrown at him in a short time, and I like the way he's attacked it. He's not been afraid to put the work in. He's doing all the extra things, for a guy that hasn't been here. I like the way he's progressed this spring, and he's put himself in position to compete.
All right, Coach, we'll give you a little break right here. Thank you so much.
I make money.
Meg Money.
Meg Money, I like that one.
That is going to be the nickname the rest of the day. I love it. Fits Megan well. All right, so MJ Morris's first series in the books saw a pass that went down the sideline there for Caden Prather, but we'll dip into MJ Moore throughout the course of the afternoon. The transfer from NC State. Again, made 6 starts over the last couple of seasons for the Wolfpack. He's definitely involved in that QB competition. We've seen 3 guys so far today: Billy Edwards, MJ Morris, Cameron Edge. Now Champ Long you see on your screen there. Looks like he might come out for this next set of offensive plays.
MJ Morris coming into this competition is the one the fans were the most excited about. The star power, big-time recruit. Played well at NC State. Only played 4 games last year, but the year before played the whole season. And now it's just like, how fast can he learn this system, right? Billy Edwards has a leg up because he's been here. He knows the system. MJ just needs, the game has to slow down for him, but he has all the talent in the world.
He made some big throws in important games for NC State over the last couple of years. Has a nice deep ball as well. Here's Champ Long, who will slide in at QB now. Redshirt freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey. His first throw of the day is complete on a crossing route over the middle, and it's Smith again on the reception. He's been the go-to guy for this red team today. Gain of 14 there.
Well, welcome to the game, Champ Long, rolling out to his left, throwing across his body. The ball actually got tipped. Really good job there by Champ Long. Watch him flip his hips here and get the ball to his open receiver. Champ Long's a redshirt freshman, pro-style type of guy. Not the biggest quarterback in the world, but he's got a big arm that we just saw.
Daniel Wingate made the tackle, a little quicker this time around, dumping it over the middle this time. On the reception there, Thomas McCluskey, tight end, 6'6", 236 from Connecticut.
Well, we're talking about the 3 quarterbacks, and Champ Long said, don't forget about me. 2 for 2 out here. He's moving fast.
He's moved a pace quicker than any other QB we've seen so far. A screen set up this time on the far side. Looks like they worked enough for a first down. Grinding his way there was Braden Wisloski, who was the primary kick returner last season for Maryland.
How about those 3 throws? That one right on the money. Good timing on it. That's an advantage throw where you have numbers in a screen game. Your offensive linemen are out blocking, but you got to be super accurate with the football, which Long was right there.
Long hands it off this time. They switched it up, getting some balance going on the ground with Colby McDonald. Let's say hello to Megan again. Meg Money.
Guys, we've talked about Meg Money right here. Look, the quarterback battle here, we've talked about a lot, but quarterback Talia Tungavailoa did so much more off the field in regards to his leadership. Wide receiver Ty Felton is trying to step up to fill those shoes when it comes to vocal leadership. He's been on the sidelines talking to his teammates, talking to the quarterbacks, the wide receivers. He said he's been mostly a lead by example guy, but now he's trying to be that vocal presence.
Thanks, Megan. Maybe one more running play of this opening quarter. And McDonald gets another carry. That'll do it for the first quarter of play for this Maryland program, trying to build off a 3rd consecutive bowl win. Second quarter coming up on Big Ten Network. Back in College Park, see Josh Gaddis there, the offensive coordinator. Michael Loxley called him one of the most dynamic play callers he's ever worked with, and you get some ties to Josh Gaddis as well.
Yeah, he was the receivers coach at Penn State when I was there under James Franklin. He's Broyles Award winner, was at Michigan, Alabama, Miami, has seen a lot of college football and coached a lot of great players.
Colby McDonald's dragged down by Neo Avery there. talk about what this Maryland program has done the last few years. Well, how about the evolution of the Big Ten schedule? So, Adam, we know last couple of years, Michigan, Ohio State have been the hurdles. Those teams aren't on your regular season schedule this year. What are your impressions of it?
Yeah, but you replace them with teams like traveling to Oregon, right, and hosting USC. A couple games to circle on this is the USC game at home. Could have a chance to have a really good record going into that game, and then traveling to Penn State to end the season. If Maryland has the year they think they're going to have, that game's going to be critical.
You told me, big thing, can you be 6-0 going into that USC game? That could be, I mean, it's very realistic. It's definitely in the realm of possibility that you could be.
Yeah, you look at those games. Maryland, if the games were today, would be favored in most, if not all of them. And they've been good in the non-conference slate, really, really good. They 5-0 last year, a lot of hype, a lot of momentum. Now it's you have to win one of the games you're not supposed to win, right? That's the next step for this Mike Locksley program. And that October 19th game, if they're 5-1 or 6-0, this place in College Park will be rocking when USC comes in here.
Very true. It'll be here. Champ Long looking for Smith again, who's been his go-to target. Wanted the deep ball. Haven't been able to connect on those deep balls yet today. Braden Lee on the coverage here.
A little bit of an underthrow here by Champ Long. Got to give your receiver a chance to go make a play. Now here in fourth down and long, looks like keeping the offense on the field. This is a moment if they are going to throw the football that you can see what a quarterback has, because you know you're getting pressure. You know the defense, it's a must-throw situation. So what can Champ Long do when everyone on the field knows he's throwing the ball?
Got skilled playmakers, not all of them out there today. We know Ty Felton won't play today. This is a ball that's squeezed into a nice window there by Champ Long. That is what you wanted to see, a play made in a situation where you know you're going to throw it. It's Ezekiel Abbott on the catch, gain of 31.
This is the perfect throw by Champ Long. It's cover 2. You got to throw it right between the corner and the safety. See that right there? Perfect money placement. Ball's right on the money. Great throw by Champ Long, and he threw that thing with some velocity, fired it in there.
Saw some intention behind that throw now. Back to McDonald. Patiently awaiting for a hold that never would open up for him there, but that was a impressive throw to keep this series going.
You hear people talk about that, the shot in the hole of the cover 2 defense, and that was exactly it. And Champ Long identified that from the beginning. He knew he was going there, and it is a pinpoint accuracy type of throw. If you miss it all, that can be a pick 6.
Wingate made that last tackle, so now can they cap it off in the depths of the red zone here? Long knows where he wants to go with it into one-on-one coverage, and it is incomplete. Had intentions there for Khalid Jones.
The thing you like about the throw, even though it's incomplete, is Champ Long threw it to the right place. He knew he had man-to-man, so you're going to have your receiver on a corner route to the back of the end zone. Made the quick decision, made the right decision, just didn't get completed. But you like what you're seeing out of Champ Long right now.
Jonathan Akins was the DB on the coverage there. 11th play of this series for Champ Long coming up. Long stayed on his feet under pressure. That pass incomplete, and Michael Locksley did use the number 4. He said there are 4 guys involved, maybe even 5 in this QB battle, so they're not trimming that number down until they get to training camp.
Yeah, normally in a quarterback battle at this point of the year, you kind of have an idea of who the starter is going to be. There's a front runner. There really isn't one right now. I mean, it is completely wide open. You can tell by talking to Josh Gaddis and talking to Coach Locksley. They have no clue who their starter is going to be come the first game of the season, and that's not a terrible thing because you get a lot of guys reps and it builds some competitive nature to your practices.
Howes will kick the field goal here. Their returning field goal kicker, and splits the uprights to get some points on the board for the red team. Our experts discuss everything happening in the conference on Big Ten today, weekdays at noon Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network. Capping off spring practices around the country. Maryland spring game. It's also the prospective student day. A lot of potential students on campus today and recruits as well in the stands.
We walked around this campus, Jason, and it's a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful day yesterday. I haven't been here since 2012 when I was getting recruited. I forgot how pretty College Park is.
You visited here about 20 times during the recruiting process.
Man, I was down to Maryland and Penn State, visited Maryland. Coach Loxley was the offensive coordinator, chose Penn State at the last minute, but I loved Maryland. I loved the coaches, loved Coach Loxley. He was making some jokes in our meeting yesterday about me choosing Penn State, but it's all in good love. I love what Coach Loxley's doing, and this place is a special one.
A decade later, the jokes are still flowing.
Yeah. Coaches never forget.
No, they never
Recruiting
forget.
is what college football is all about, so coaches never forget those ones that go down to the wire.
A testament to Michael Loxley, though, you told me that was one of the hardest decisions you had to make to let him know you weren't.
Man, I was really down to Maryland and Penn State. In my final two, I was telling the coaches at Maryland I was going to come, and the toughest call I've ever had to make in my life was to the Maryland coaching staff saying I was going to choose Penn State.
The white team will start possession first and 10.
There's a reason why Coach Loxley has really galvanized this program, these players that stick with him, why he gets so many local players in this part of the country, in the DMV. MJ Morris back in at QB, by the way, his second series. Morris throws a quick dart and completes it to Shalik Knotts, who they have big hopes for. Number 4 in white on the receiving side of things this season. Husky, the transfer from Bowling Green, made the tackle there. Delmar Glaze, you see we talked about him earlier, and up front what's going on. So they're losing their tackles. Delmar Glaze, one of them, already drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders.
We talk about being a developmental program. Glaze is a perfect example of developing an offensive lineman for a couple of years and then becomes an NFL player.
Have some other guys from that O-line room who could be on NFL teams by the time the draft wraps up. Got Lee by Ed J. Another one of the tackles they had a season ago.
45. That's enough for a white team. First down.
It's the first down for the white team today. MJ Morris, again, Adam mentioned you're trying to be as clean as you can be. How can you move this offense in a fashion that doesn't result in turnovers? Meanwhile, their ball is dropped but scooped back up. We don't mean to speak turnovers into existence, but nearly had one happen there. Luckily scooped back up by Nolan Ray, who they really love in the spring camp so far, and he does ultimately pick up a first down.
In this quarterback battle, it's about these little things. Watch the exchange here between MJ Morris and Ray. So you see Morris holds on to it a little bit long, it gets fumbled in there, and then Ray ends up dropping the football. Could have been a turnover. Those are the things that MJ Morris has to clean up.
Nolan Ray from Southfield, Michigan, out of Brother Rice High School, which has a great pedigree for producing college football players over the years. And a lot of winning that's taken place at Brother Rice High School. They go back to him on the ground.
You know, the other thing, Jason, that's really interesting is Mike Loxley is actually coaching the quarterbacks himself right now. That shows you how important this quarterback competition is. It's very rare that a head coach is actually the one in the room coaching them day after day after day. But Loxley's doing it. He's saying, I'm finding out every day how much they know of the system and coaching them the installs.
Moore steps up. He can do it with his legs, too, and we see those legs for the first time. Obviously can't tackle the quarterback in the spring game, still marked him down. Looks like around the 25 there with a nice burst of 13 yards.
Well, that's what MJ Morris brings to the table. As soon as it's not there, go run and pick up a first down. You see the speed, the athleticism. Obviously, no one touched the quarterback. I mean, they blew that thing dead when there was someone 10 yards from them, but you got to protect them.
MJ Morris, in the month of October into early November for NC State this past year, led NC State to 3 wins in 4 weeks. He has guided a program at a high level in a major conference to victories throughout his career.
And for him, you know what the skill is. He's so talented. He has the arm. He can throw from different arm angles. We've seen him complete passes in different arm slots. So now it's can you push the football down the field without turning it over? Can you make smart decisions, and can you have complete control of this offense?
His strengths definitely show up on the film, and they show up in person. Nice tackle broken there by Roman Hemby. So here's our 3-headed quarterback battle. Remember, we've seen Champ Long today as well, and he's impressed too. But these were some names we talked off at the top of the show.
Yeah, this may become a 4-man quarterback battle for what we've seen from Champ Long. But all 3 of these guys, they all bring different traits to the table. MJ Morris is the freak athlete. Billy Edwards is the dual threat. who's more of a runner than a thrower, but trying to develop. And then Cameron Edge is the pocket passer who stands in there and really goes through his progressions and isn't a running threat. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. I have a feeling, Jason, that we may not know until a week before their first game who the starting quarterback is going to be. And also you get into the factor of trying to trick people.
Definitely get that kind of feeling, that kind of vibe right now that it could be a quarterback battle that goes for a while, maybe even into the season, who knows. Of course, you want to have it nailed down before that. That is such a interesting and, of course, crucial year when you're going from Talia Tungavailoa, who you knew what you're going to get out of day in and day out, to now trying to develop this chemistry and reestablish it with a new QB and a relatively new offensive line as well across the board. There's Champ Long, who we talked about, has definitely earned the right to join that quarterback graphic battle.
And Mike Loxley's been around a lot of big-time quarterback battles. You think the ones he was with at Alabama when he was the offensive coordinator, Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones competing against each other. Also, Josh Gaddis has seen a ton of big-time quarterbacks, so they know how to handle these situations, and they're going to put their quarterbacks in spots to find out who steps up when the pressure's on.
Morris back out there, hands it off again to Hemby. I know Hemby can definitely carry the weight of the #1 running back load. We don't always see the #1 running back out there in these spring games, so it's really cool to see him on the field today.
Now, Jason, I'm excited to see MJ Morris in the red zone, 10-yard line, fresh set of downs, right? First and goal. This is where it's challenging. Condensed area, you don't have the whole field to work with because of the end zone. How does he handle this situation?
Hemby finds room up the middle again, and he gets brought down. Let's go to Megan for more on Roman Hemby.
If you ask running back Roman Hemby who the best dressed player on the team is, he will humbly admit that it's himself. He is actually very into fashion and loves learning about trends. Hemby would even consider getting into fashion one day. Now, he says his favorite designer is Prada. His family says he has too much of it. I like Prada too, but I just can't afford it. But he looks great, though, when he's dressing up from head to toe, especially for media days and whatnot.
And Megan, he looks great in the end zone right now, spinning his way in. A little swag, both on and off the field. Prada off the field, touchdowns on the field.
Man, that is some swag. I may need to hire him as my designer or something.
Right?
I need to look good on Big Ten Network, but you see why everyone's so excited about him and what he brings to this football team. He's the epitome, as Mike Loxley said, of a Maryland football player, Mr. Consistent. Did a good job there bouncing that outside as soon as he saw the hole fill up, took it out to the edge. And it's not, but for Hemby, it's now, can you create more explosive plays? Not just get the 5-6 yards. Can you create the 15-yard rushes on your own when you have to make someone miss?
Howes comes out to complete the drive. And the white team answers back. Picked up their first down on this drive and capped it off with a Roman Hemby touchdown as well.
I like what we saw from MJ Morris there. He didn't make any crazy throws, but just controlled the offense, handed the football off. We saw the fumbled exchange, which is concerning at times, but he looked pretty much in control there, and it's good to get some confidence for the new quarterback at Maryland to lead a drive down the field and put points on the scoreboard.
Let's go down to Megan, who's with Dante Trader.
Thanks, Jason. Dante, first off, you actually played lacrosse last season on this field, didn't play in the spring game as a result. How does playing lacrosse help prepare you for a defensive back position?
I'll just say always being on an island, you know. There's a lot of space out there. It helps me transition like hips and covering a lot of guys, especially helps me covering tight ends and receivers. And more, I would say, mental toughness, because balancing, playing two sports is, helped me more on the football field.
Now you're just playing football only, sticking to that D-back position. How would you describe the way this defense has been able to develop over the course of the spring?
Ryan Williams, man, he every day we start with a standard, and what is the standard? We go over our discipline and our penalties every day. We address, everybody's held accountable. And we're a tight-knit group. We have a mentality that we have to show, toughness. We're going to run to the ball, and it really starts with him. We follow him, and, they see you show it on their game day. So.
You talk about being a tight-knit group. Bo Braid, your former teammate, has potential to get drafted this weekend. What kind of conversations have you had with him about becoming a pro?
you know, he just tells me the ins and outs, what he went through. I don't want to, you know, put out everything he said, but, you know, he just tells me what not to do, what to do, and to take care of my body is the biggest thing, you know. And, you know, I look up to that guy. So I hit him up all the time, ask him about boundary safety, all those types of questions and things like that.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Jason.
Thanks, Megan. Dante Trader will definitely be a dynamic part of the secondary on the Maryland defense this upcoming season, as they were looking for Wisloski down there. By the way, Terps lacrosse going to be the 2 seed in the upcoming Big Ten men's lacrosse tournament. I have that on Big Ten Network for you.
Trader's got a chance to have an all Big Ten type of season. I mean,
yeah.
He's that good in that defensive secondary. Really the one strong point of the secondary for Maryland. You know how important it is to have good DBs now? When Maryland's going to be playing Oregon and USC, who are going to throw the ball 40, 50 times a game, Trader's going to have a big season.
Edge makes a nice throw to the sideline there. Octavian Smith made the grab. And you mentioned those West Coast teams coming in, maybe 40, 50 throws as we see the up-tempo moving here. You might have more of that kind of tempo. Do you see more substitutions, possibly needing to go deeper into depth charts? It's interesting how those new teams might evolve not only the schedules but style of play.
Yeah. I mean, you better have a great secondary. You better have players that can cover, that can go sideline to sideline. And then, as we talked about earlier, you have to be able to get after the quarterback, because everything fixes itself if you can get after the USC quarterback, the Oregon quarterback, whoever that is. If you can do that, then they stop playing fast. They can't get the ball out as quickly, and you can create some turnovers and cause some havoc.
By the way, last 4 minutes of each half will be regular clock stoppage rules, as opposed to how the clock was flowing and not stopping prior to the final 4 minutes. So we'll go into traditional timing now, try to simulate that, and essentially these 2-minute drives to try to score for each team. We'll also have the 2-minute warning, one of the new approved rule changes for college football.
4th and 1 from the 29.
We've seen Cameron Edge now on this drive complete some passes and look like he's getting in a rhythm a little bit.
Hands it off here to McDonald, who's wrapped up pretty quickly. Colby McDonald at 53 carries last season, 30 or more carries each of the last 3 years. So he's a guy who brings in experience as well, a Maryland native.
White team takes over on downs.
That's a situation right there, 4th down and 1, where Mike Loxley, an offensive guy, we got to be able to run the football on 4th down and 1 and pick it up. See him talking to his running back, McDonald, saying, put your foot in the ground and pick up that 1st down, run somebody over, even if it's not there.
So now turns into kind of a 2-minute drive the other way for the white team. And Billy Edwards will come back out after the unsuccessful 4th and 1 try.
Great opportunity now. Billy Edwards, everyone says you're not a throwing quarterback. You got a 2-minute drive. Go throw the football around, show you can throw it all over the field, and control a 2-minute drive right here.
Eluding the pressure and flipping it out to Nolan Ray, who stayed on his feet and tiptoes down the sideline.
It's a great job there by Billy Edwards of staying in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, not looking around. Watch him hit. Watch Edwards here. Goes to the right. Nothing's there. Steps up. Eyes still downfield. Gets the ball out quickly. It's a good job of improving in that pocket presence for Billy Edwards.
Ty Felton this time. First time we've called his name on the receiving end. A guy who they feel could have a 1,000-yard season at his best.
Man, I asked Josh Gaddis about Ty Felton yesterday, and his eyes lit up. I mean, Gaddis has seen a lot of big-time receivers. Chris Godwin at Penn State. You know who he compared Ty Felton to? Jerry Jeudy
2.0
from Alabama, and said this guy should be a 1,000-yard receiver. He's as talented as anyone in the conference. And Gaddis also said, we have the best skill players in the Big Ten.
Please set the clock.
There's your 2-minute warning.
Very new rule for the
Don't miss live coverage of the 2024 Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Tournament. Mentioned Maryland is going to be the 2 seed. Semifinals start up Thursday at 6 Eastern only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. So Megan interviewed Dante Trader, who duels in football and lacrosse last season. This is a look at Dante Trader getting it done on the lacrosse field as well. Such a dynamic athlete. Long range shot there, does it in the secondary defensively, and can step up offensively on the lacrosse field. Maybe like it's this cool kind of trade-off. In one sport, you're on defense, other sport, you're scoring for your team.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, yep. Well, he's trying to make a defensive stop here. Another run by Nolan Ray and a tackle made by Caleb Wheatland.
Nolan Ray's a guy that the coaches yesterday, Jason, were saying he has had a great spring practice, is the one guy that everyone's been talking about. He's made some head-turning plays. It'd be interesting to see how they use Nolan Ray with Roman Hemby and kind of use that 1-2 punch combination.
Edwards step up, strong throw down the sideline. The receiver had a step looking for Ty Felton, but an excellent job to catch up there from Kevis Thomas and make a great play. Second time we've seen Kevis Thomas out in a one-on-one coverage.
This is a heck of a play by Kevis Thomas. He actually gets beat here. Receiver has a couple steps on him, but watch Thomas with the recovery speed. Sticks that left arm in there. As soon as he sees the receiver look up for the ball, he sticks his arm in there because he knows the ball's close. Really nice play by Kevis Thomas.
You're losing Tarheeb Still, you're losing Jaquan Shepard at those corner spots. That was a combined 26 starts between those two names I just mentioned from last year. So there is a door open at the cornerback spot. Kevis Thomas has been walking through that door today.
And Thomas is a guy that can play all over the field. He can play that nickel slot corner position. He can play outside at corner.
A nice route crossing over the middle that time. And a nice job from Billy Edwards. Notice it immediately. Reception made by Preston Howard, big tight end who they really like. He had 13 catches, 160 yards last year. Picked up 14 there. Now Edwards back to work, back down the sideline. Nuts has his step, but it's slightly overthrown. Would have been 6.
Shalik Knotts with a great route, was wide open. Billy Edwards just leads him a little bit too much. It looks like Knotts might have stopped running a little bit. Man, Billy Edwards has to find a way to complete that pass. That's the type in a game, in a big game, in a 2-minute drive, that's the type of play that can completely change a game.
1:08 still left on the clock.
And when you have a receiver wide open, Jason, the worst thing you can do is overthrow. You want to, if you anything, underthrow him, especially a guy like Knotts who can go up and then make a play on the football. Give him a chance.
They want to go deep again, opposite sideline. This time looking for Caden Prather. Ron Bell was back on the coverage, Baltimore native. Let's say hello to Megan.
Coach Loxley, what have you been looking out to get out of the last 4 minutes here?
Well, we go into our Mayday tempo, which is our 2-minute tempo to keep it competitive so no one can kind of drain the clock. What we've got to do, we've missed a couple of these deep shots, man, and the timing of the quarterback, the receiver, the ball location, the deep ball hasn't been there. That's something that we got to get fixed over the summer.
What do you need your quarterbacks to do to get that timing better?
Sack. All right, sack, let's go. Hey, use their time. I'll say that again now.
No, all good. This is what's so much fun. We get to catch you on the fly here, see your train of thought. What do you need to see from your quarterbacks to get that timing better?
No, it's over the summer. The individual reps, the timing of throwing to those guys, repeated. It's like rehearsing. The more you rehearse it, the more efficient you become at it. And I mean, we've got a competition going, and so they've dealt with different receivers because they've had to work with all the different groups. But as we start narrowing things down, we'll be able to get the timing with the guys that they'll throw with a lot.
Like you say, Grandma's chocolate chip cookie recipe.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Don't put 2 cups of chocolate chips in it if it says 1.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Megan. Following the chocolate chip cookie recipe to the T. That is what Michael Loxley has done to build this program to where it's gotten to a point where on the national stage they've been competing with anyone and everyone. Went into their Ohio State game last year in Columbus 5-0. Went on a streak of losing after that of 4 in a row, but then won 3 of their final 4, including the Music City Bowl to wrap up what was a program record 3rd consecutive bowl win. And now this year, a year of QB change. Champ Long back in at QB, trying to insert himself into that battle to take over the starting spot. Trying to look in that second half of who can complete some of those deep balls. Now the timing improves. It's kind of felt like it has improved throughout the course of the afternoon. Long's pass is picked off, though. First turnover of this spring game, and will it be a pick 6? It will. Waltzing his way into the end zone is Kiari James for a 28-yard interception and return for a touchdown.
Well, Champ Long just didn't see the linebacker. See, middle of the screen, you got James, 35, gonna drop on the right side here, and he's just sitting right there in his zone. Champ Long doesn't even see him. Good job by James with the catch and then securing the football, getting in the end zone. Yeah, he's gonna have a good day. The pick 6 with 20 seconds left in the half. Nice play by James.
Good day in the film room coming up for him.
In the film room, that's the kind of play you're just ready for it to come up. You're excited for the coaches to see it, everyone in the film room to see it.
Nothing else matters except for waiting that play to come up. Let's look at the pick 6 from James again here. What do you see at?
You see Long just doesn't see him drop in the zone there. Thinks he can float it over the linebacker's head, but obviously doesn't. And James, the nice awareness just to see the ball coming, looking at the quarterback. We got Miller also with a pick 6 in the bowl game as well. Huge play for this Maryland team. He's waving to the fans goodbye as he halts into the end zone.
Glendon Miller is going to be a key part of the defense once again this year. Redshirt senior from Orange Park, Florida. They hope they can see some of that out of him again today. All right, so 12 ticks left on this second quarter clock. Have had our first pick 6 of the afternoon. Brian Williams, the DC, will love that. It'll be the white team up 14-3 after one half of spring game play in College Park. Once again, winner gets steak and lobster, loser gets hot dogs and beans. So dinner consequences are on the line as the red team will try to make a comeback. First, we'll have more halftime coverage coming up on BTN.
Back in College Park, Maryland, as the Red-White Maryland University spring game continues on. And joining us now is Maryland Athletic Director Damon Evans. Damon, first and foremost, this is a Maryland team that's built up a ton of momentum over the course of the last couple of years, coming off of bowl wins. How would you describe what Mike Loxley's been able to do?
You know what? He's taken a nice progressive approach. He had a plan that he wanted to put in place, and we built it year by year. We've gone 7 wins, 8 wins, 8 wins, and I like what he's doing, so I'm excited, and this team may be even better than those previous teams.
That's a sign of approval, knowing the team's coming up, and he's preached how this is a developmental program. You've had players already going into the NFL draft. What does it say to know that players can come here and be prepared for the next level?
It says a lot because a lot of these kids have the dream of making it to the NFL. Delmar Glaze got drafted last night, and we've continued to have players get selected for the draft. It shows the development, the talent that we identify, but we develop that talent, and that's what our program's about.
And this program is competing in arguably the best conference in all of football. You now add those 4 teams on the West Coast. What does that do for the level that we're about to see coming up here next season?
It's great for this conference. The Big Ten is elite. I love being a part of an elite conference when we welcome competition. USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, coupled with Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan and the others. It's exciting football, and if you want to be the best, you got to play the best and beat the best.
Thank you so much, Damon. We will be right back soon. Halftime will continue on here at the University of Maryland. Red vs. White spring football game.
Welcome back to the University of Maryland 2024 spring game halftime. red-white game. Adam Breneman, Jason Ross Jr. The evolution of the Big Ten schedule into 2024 is one that brings in new teams to the conference and new teams to Maryland's schedule. Adam, your impressions of it?
If I'm a Maryland fan, Jason, I like this schedule a lot. Number one, don't play Ohio State or Michigan. You do have to travel to Oregon and host USC, but also look at the first half of that schedule. UConn, Michigan State, play Villanova, and then a couple of Big Ten games. Maryland should be favored in all 6 of those games. If it were right now today, they could be 6-0 going into hosting USC. College Park will be rocking if they're 6-0 and USC's coming to town, Jason.
Big home games on the schedule, getting a glimpse of it. Big Ten Plus delivers thousands of non-televised live events, access to next-day on-demand replays, multi-view to watch up to 4 games at once, and a 24/7 Maryland channel. There's no Plus-like home. Subscribe and stream for as low as $9.95 a month at BigTenPlus.com. More coming up next. The 2024 Maryland Red-White game here on Big Ten Network. Halftime at the annual Red-White Maryland Spring Football Game, trying to find some new faces to fill key positions. I've had some fun documenting it throughout the course of the day. We'll have more coming up from the halftime next on Big Ten Network. The white team with the 14-3 edge heading into the third quarter of play. There's Billy Edwards, one of the QBs we have been assessing and analyzing throughout the course of the afternoon in this QB battle. Today here at Maryland, Jason Ross Jr., Adam Breneman, Megan McEwen is with us as well. We appreciate you sticking with us throughout the course of the afternoon. Adam, your thoughts from that first half?
It's been interesting to see the quarterback play, and we've seen some flashes, we've seen some not so good things. Billy Edwards just needs to be more accurate with the football down the field, but he's been able to scramble and be pretty good in the intermediate game. MJ Morris led a touchdown drive, looked in control, and then Cameron Edge also looked really good. Threw the ball all over the field on one drive. There's pros, there's cons, all these guys. Champ Long surprised us early on, then threw the pick 6. Looks like this is a 4-way battle and still isn't quite figured out.
Jack Gals to kick off for the white team. Around ball for the red team.
Capriati kicked us off to begin the day, and now the second half getting underway here in the annual Red-White game. Megan McEwen is down on the field with Roman Hemby.
Roman, first and foremost, you have a touchdown already in this game. What were you seeing from the defense when you scored on that play?
You know, my offensive line, they do a great job just opening up holes for me. And I seen the defensive line, they kind of over-pursued, and I was able to make them pay and get a touchdown.
You've been making people pay and getting touchdowns throughout your career, but now you're in a leadership position. How have you tried to be more vocal with the absence of Talia Tungavailoa?
You know, Leah was a great leader for us, and me stepping up as being a senior, it's like I step into a role where I got to lead by example and kind of be a vocal leader for some of these younger guys.
You have a younger running back group as well. What have you told them so far this spring to try to improve their play?
Just giving them little nuggets that'll take it a long way for them. I feel like when I was here as a younger guy, I had older guys that would tell me, just focus on one piece of the day every day and get better at that. And if you do that, you'll be a better player. And I'm kind of trying to instill that in them as well.
What did you tell the offense at the half? Into the second half, pretty good showing in the first half. What do you need to do to improve in the second?
Just finish. You know, Coach Loxley always talks about headbutting to finish, and we know that this is going to be a 4-quarter game, so we'll have a little bit of fun, but we want to win, so we're going to do what we got to do to get that done.
You got a good Prada outfit ready for after the game?
Yeah, I do, actually.
I believe it. Thank you so much, Roman.
All right, thanks, Megan. Well, that leadership factor that Megan talked about with Roman, Adam, how do you try to vocally step into that and mentally step into it?
Well, a lot of it in becoming the leader is about performing on the field, right? No one respects you until you actually perform, and Roman's done that at a really high level.
There was a flag that went flying before that pass.
And now for Roman, it's about, we talked to the coaches, becoming an eraser. And what this being an eraser means, it means when other people are wrong, when your offensive line doesn't block well, still playing well.
Defense, number 39, 5-yard holding, remains second down.
Looks like it's offside on the defense. Roman Hemby, you mentioned he's done it on the field. He had 680 yards on the ground last year. A threat out of the backfield as a pass catcher as well, 38 catches, 349 yards. Cameron Edge is the QB in right now. Have seen 4 QBs so far today. The newcomer from NC State, MJ Morris, led the touchdown drive that we saw in the opening half. A couple of bodies barreling off one another there on the outside edge. Nice hit from Akins, the redshirt freshman DB from Madison, Florida.
The one thing I've seen from Cameron Edge now this drive is just an understanding of defense, and you see him walking up the line of scrimmage the last play, actually changing the protection, pointing out where the blitz is coming from.
Other elements of that comfort level that's going to have to establish, and you have a new center this year as well that you're trying to work in. We know they really like Josh Kaltenberger at center, redshirt senior who transferred from Purdue and has experience in Big Ten games at that spot.
That's a great point. That center position for a new quarterback is so critically important because the center oftentimes, along with the quarterback, is pointing out protections, where the run game's going to go. And Kaltenberger from Purdue, like you said, has played a lot of football and is a big upgrade for this Maryland team.
And it looks like they're going to give Edge a 4th and 5 situation here to work with on his own side of the 50. See what they call here. We know how dynamic Josh Gaddis is as a play caller. This is a crossing route that goes in and out of the hands of his intended target there, Ricardo Cooper Jr. Offensive line really retooling. Here are your incoming transfers. Aluba from Georgia, Alan Heron from D2 Shorter, and Josh Kaltenberger we talked about from Purdue. Then a couple of incoming recruits as well, and Logan Bennett and Ryan Howardson. Alan Heron's interesting. You bring him in from D2 Shorter. They've had some success in the last couple of years bringing in offensive linemen from the D2 level. And Aluba didn't play a ton at Georgia, but it was because that offensive lineman was so stacked.
Yeah, and Ba's going to play a ton this season. From talking to the coaches, has been a really pleasant surprise. Heron was a huge recruiting win for Maryland. He was actually committed to transfer to Penn State. Maryland and Coach Loxley flipped him at the last minute. He's going to be a big part of this offense.
An offense that averaged 29 points per game last year. A team that has won 7 or more games in 3 straight seasons for the first time since the early 2000s. See, Caden Prather is going to be a key part of that offense this year.
Caden Prather has everything you want in an athletic receiver that can play outside, transferred in from West Virginia. Just a phenomenal long athlete, has had a great spring.
Returned to his home state after beginning his career as a Mountaineer. 42 catches, 666 yards last year. Another flag down here.
False start. Offense, number 37. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Now, right around the 50-yard line, this is normally shot territory for this Maryland offense. So, do they take a shot here? I want to see Billy Edwards air one out again. Can he be more accurate on that deep ball? We saw him in the first half miss on those open receivers deep down the field.
Couldn't quite connect with Shalik Knotts earlier on one. Makes some adjustments at the line. Now Edwards, his pass was deflected there at the line of scrimmage. It looked like Kellen Wyatt got his hand on it, one of the returning starters.
Those are the kind of plays Kellen Wyatt can bring. Watch number 45 here, get a hand up and knock this ball down. See that left arm. He's 6'2", 250 pounds, but uses those long arms. They always they teach defensive linemen and linebackers, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your arms up and knock it down. Nice job by Wyatt.
Those 4.5 sacks you see next to his name there, that led the Terps a season ago. So you can see him in a lot of blitz packages for them as well. Meanwhile, speaking of blitz, the rush got there right away for Edwards, and it slipped out of his hands. Looks like Glendon Miller from his DB spot got in and quickly got in there.
These quarterback competitions are all about just giving trust to all your coaches. You can't drop the football. You can't have the ball on the ground. Billy Edwards has to find a way to hold on to that ball, just be a little more accurate with the football.
Donnell Brown was in the mix too there on that immediate pressure that forced the ball to come loose. Kozlowski, who's going to be important elements of the special teams, punt return, kick return units. Back to watch that fall into his arms. Let's go down to Megan on the field.
Guys, there may be a quarterback battle going on, but the specialty players are well aware of who's going to be, like what they're getting out of the quarterbacks, because these quarterbacks have been rotated in throughout the season, going with the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s in practice. This is what Mike Loxley refers to as the chocolate chip cookie recipe. It means that everybody gets reps, not just mental reps, but physical reps. So players who might be the third string quarterback are still getting reps with the 1s so they can figure out how to play with each other. And the wide receivers, running backs, you name it, aren't going to be surprised when they have a different quarterback under center.
It's a great point that you make there, Megan, because Billy Edwards started and was the Music City Bowl MVP when they beat Auburn in that bowl game. And a lot of it, Michael Loxley talked with us about the fact that they have a culture and tradition of in practice and getting into games of playing guys that when they're young and developing them for moments. A little flea flicker action on display here. Edge down the same one, Smith, and it's broken up. Another nice play by a Maryland DB. Back on it defending was Brandon Jacob there. So a little dynamic play calling, but doesn't work out.
So a little flea flicker here. Edge had his receiver on the right side of the side wide open, Octavian Smith. He threw it to the wrong guy. But he's got to read that play out better. Nice shot call here, there by Josh Gaddis, dialing up a little trick play in the third quarter of the spring game. You got to love the aggressiveness.
Got to love it. You don't always see that in the spring games, pulling out the bag of tricks, but we know we're going to see it in the regular season with Josh Gaddis, and Michael Loxley plays a key role in the offense as well. Here's Edge, pressure off the edge, and he goes down the sideline, trying to adjust to make a play with Smith. Braden Lee on the defensive coverage there.
Edge was trying to go back to Smith here. And it's a pretty good throw, just a little bit outside, forcing Smith to turn his hips around. That's a catch Smith has to make. That's a good ball where only his receiver can get it.
Now third down play, 1 for 7 on third down. So far, this might be a conversion and a deep one. It is hauled in and caught along the sideline there. Nice play from Octavian Smith. You mentioned they missed him earlier. This time, they're able to connect for a gain of 36 yards, but there is a flag down.
Defense, number 51. That penalty is declined.
It's going to be declined.
First down.
This is a great catch by Octavian Smith. Tracking the football, also knowing the awareness of where he is on the sideline, dragging that right foot, securing the catch through the ground. That is a high-level football play. You got to control it to the ground, which he does there. Great job by Octavian Smith.
You lose Ja'Shawn Jones in that receiving core. You need other guys to step up in maybe that third receiver role. We know Shalik Knotts could definitely be in it. Ty Felton and Caden Brather are your top two, but Octavian Smith is a guy who can bring some really good depth and make this offense even more dynamic.
Smith was a 4-star receiver in high school, one of the top in the country, a 10-5, 100-meter guy, so he's fast. We saw him right there just outrun the defensive back on that last play. He brings that speed element to the outside of this offense.
Now maybe, Adam, you're back at possibly that shot territory you talked about here.
Yeah, try to take something down the field.
Instead, they go underneath, and it's broken up. Chance Harley on their defensive coverage against Wisłowski.
The interesting thing for this Maryland offense, talking to Josh Gaddis yesterday, was that they're moving Ty Felton, their dynamic receiver, inside the slot receiver. The reason is they want a big body, 6'2", athletic, in the middle of the field for their new quarterback. And that means those outside spots are up for grabs. You got Caden Prather as the one, but Octavian Smith has a chance to really claim that other spot and be a guy that can go down the field and make big plays.
We've seen a lot of deliberate shots on the outside. I'm going to say it looked like someone jumps there on one side of the ball. Might be offensive.
Got a little excited there at receiver.
A little excited. There's your laundry. Looks like it's going to set the offense back a little bit.
False start. Offense, number 19. 5-yard penalty. Man's third down.
Mentioned getting excited. We're very excited for July 13th. The BTN Big 10K, one of the coolest parts of the summer in the Windy City, returns to Soldier Field in Chicago for the fantastic 10K and 5K races and tailgate party. Scan the QR code there on your screen or register right now at btnbig10k.com. Edge, one of those deep shots we talked about, might have it this time. Receiver had a step. It was Octavian Smith again. Interested to see what happened on this replay here, Adam.
Man, that is a big-time throw by Cameron Edge. Down the field about 40 yards, perfect accuracy. Watch this throw, but perfect amount of touch. Right on the money to Octavian Smith, who just drops it. That's a play. Octavian Smith, the speedy receiver, when you get open down the field, you got to make the big plays when the big plays are there. He's going to be thinking about that one all night tonight.
Yeah, like you said, you can see the speed from Octavian Smith, just a matter of finishing the play that time around. But the potential is there on that edge for him with Ty Felton moving to the slot. Again, Ty Felton isn't playing today in the spring game, but he's a guy who had 723 receiving yards last year, just blazing speed.
Yeah, I will say that there are challenges for the receivers as well when you're rotating quarterbacks. That the ball comes out of everyone's hand differently. It spins differently. It's got different velocity. The timing's different. So it can be hard. Look at me making excuses for the receivers, right? but it can be difficult when you have 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks that are constantly throwing passes for a guy like Octavian Smith to be able to track that football in the air.
You never made those excuses.
No. Well, I didn't drop the ball.
Oh, I see. Well, another maybe a legitimate excuse. There is rain starting to come down here in College Park and getting heavier by the minute. So we'll see how these receivers can not only handle different QBs, but different weather conditions.
Also for the quarterbacks, you want to see how the quarterbacks handle the rain. Maryland will play a game in the rain this season. It's going to happen at some point in bad weather. How do these quarterbacks, how does MJ Morris right now with the rain perform?
Up the middle, MJ Morris's legs are on display as he gets out past the 30, where they might mark him down. Gain of 16 there for the NC State Trent.
That's the dynamic part that MJ Morris brings to this offense. Great job by the offensive line opening the hole. That's a zone read all the way. As soon as the linebackers flow out with the running back, MJ Morris keeps that himself. And if MJ Morris keeps making reads like that, that'll bring a whole new element to this Maryland offense.
Quick hit on the edge. Jalen Husky, let's go down to Megan on the field.
Coach, how about that last hit right there? You said you felt like that was about to happen in real time. Cracked him.
Yeah, that's the Locks view you're getting back here, Meg Money. He threw a stick route, and he didn't feel the outside squeeze, and that's when you want to put the ball on the inside back hip to kind of slow him down so he doesn't get blown up like we saw just happen.
And Morris also, we saw a run right here from him. What do you like about his mobility and ability to get out on the field?
Yeah, MJ's athleticism really stands out. You just see a little bit of his accuracy in the throwing game. As I said, as he continues to learn the system, when he's comfortable, you can see it in his execution. We've got this summer to kind of continue to bring him along throughout the competition like we do with all the other guys.
Defensively, you've been really pleased in that first half. What you saw, second half, any adjustments you've seen that you like a lot?
Our defense is our strength right now, and we've got to know that and understand and play to the strength of our team. A low-scoring game. We got weather. Defense has scored. I like to see us offensively, like I said, make a few more explosive plays. You got one here, Dylan Wade out in front. PG-13. But, again, we need those type of plays in our offensive system, and that's how you win games, explosive plays and then minimizing them on defense.
Coach, you might take Jason Ross Jr.'s job after that call. Pretty good right there, calling that pass and catch. Thanks so much.
That's my next job.
I'm just trying to live up to Loxley's level here. That was a great call from Coach Loxley and Meg Money down on the sideline there. We were both in awe of the ginormous candle in Michael Loxley's office yesterday, by the way, gifted to him by Stephon Diggs, that got him all soothed and relaxed for today, and now he's breaking out his play-by-play skills on the air.
It smelled good, too, in there.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Clean office. We just saw that pass that Coach Loxley called so gracefully, MJ Morris to Dylan Wade. Dylan Wade's a guy that these coaches are fired up about at tight end, and I love seeing the tight ends get involved a little bit. Josh Gaddis said Wade has the best catch radius on the team, meaning that the ball can be behind him, in front of him, high, low. He still finds a way to catch the football, and we saw it on that play.
Maybe one more throw here with 3 seconds left in the quarter for MJ Morris behind the intended target. Well, fourth and final quarter on the horizon. 14-3, white team up. We'll have more coming up on Big Ten Network. Getting into the fourth quarter now. This Maryland spring practice finale, the annual red and white game here in College Park. Jason Ross Jr., Adam Brenneman, Megan McEwen, our outstanding Big Ten Network crew. And MJ Morrison at QB made a nice throw prior to the fourth to Dylan Wade. He scoots out of bounds. We'll see if they can continue that kind of timing, that kind of rhythm as he builds chemistry and comfort with his wideouts.
And that play right there wasn't an explosive play by MJ Morris, but just the ability to be athletic and escape the pocket, pick up some positive yardage. Now we're going to punt the football here and reserve the right to punt as quarterback.
What's up, Megan?
What's up, guys? I've got Ruben Hippolyte here with me, linebacker for the red team now. What have you liked about the red team's defense so far in this game? You guys have been dominant.
I think we did a pretty good job of getting lined up. We just got to tackle better, I feel like. But other than that, we're executing on all levels.
You're coming off an all Big Ten campaign. What do you need to do to continue improving this offseason?
Just stay consistent. That's the name of the game for me, especially going into this last year for me. Just being consistent, put another year like I did last year together. And then, taking my talents to the next level. Speaking
of last year, one of the best years for the defense as a unit. Why was last year's team so successful?
I think we played as a unit. We played as one. We played together. We held each other accountable. We lost some pieces to the draft this year, but I think we got a solid core that came back, and we're ready to do it again this year.
We're excited to see what you guys put on the field this year. Thanks so much, Ruben.
Ruben Hippolyte, a returning captain on this defense, heading into his fourth year starting games. A defense that had a season that really hadn't been done statistically in over 10 years. You see, since 2010, that was 22.5 points per game allowed, fewest since 2010. Trying to back that up, and they got 7 returning starters to do it. So now with the white team up 14-3, it's the red team that's going to try to make a fourth quarter comeback here. They hand it off, and the defense showing up once again. Looked like DJ Samuels who got the jump. Almost like a Superman-like tackle there, flying into the backfield.
And that's an explosive play by DJ Samuel, number 42. See him come in there. Great job running down the line of scrimmage and using that speed at defensive end. Defensive ends and linebackers love that play where you can track the ball down from behind and show your athleticism. Great play there by Samuels.
Came flying out of the gates there. Champ Long goes to the sideline, caught by Abbott. Now Abbott made a couple of men miss, up to the 30. Ezekiel Abbott, one of the young targets from Potomac, Maryland. Gain of 13 there for the freshman wideout.
A great throw here by Champ Long. Hash to sideline. That's a big-time type of throw. Right on the money. Gives his receiver a chance to make a play after the catch. Champ Long has the arm talent, and that's not the question. It's the decision-making. We saw him have the pick 6 earlier. He's got to keep making great decisions.
Some patience in between those lanes there for Colby McDonald. So we've seen Roman Hemby, Nolan Ray, Colby McDonald, a few of the key names at running back that'll be on the field in the fall, all playing in this spring game today at the running back spot for Maryland. Long was pressured, just had to throw that away. Going to call intentional grounding here, so you see Michael Loxley and during his offense to step back a little bit.
It's a young mistake here by Champ Long. You're in the pocket. You can't just throw the football away with no receiver out there. He acknowledged the pressure, knew it was there, but you got to at least throw it to the feet of one of your receivers on an actual route.
Long might have to throw this one away again, but there are receivers in the vicinity this time. Ezekiel Abbott was out in that range, but some more good pressure from this defense. QB group that's trying to replace what Talia Tagovailoa brought the last 4 years, and it really is incredible when you put it into context. Second behind Drew Brees in most career passing yards in Big Ten history, 11,256 that these fans have been able to watch the last several years, but now a new face at that all-important QB spot. And this battle will definitely go into training camp and possibly into the fall to try to secure who will be in that seat when game one rolls around. A schedule that's fairly favorable through the first 4 or 5 weeks. You said it could be realistic that they could be 6-0 heading into playing USC on this field.
And we'll see what happens in the spring transfer portal now for Maryland. And we talked to Josh Gaddis, who said we have to go get a couple more offensive linemen. We'll see if they make any moves at the receiver position. You never know where teams can go add or where they lose talent to the portal.
You can get all the news and highlights from around the Big Ten Conference on the Big Show tonight at 10 Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network. Talking some NFL draft. I've had several Big Ten players from the past season drafted this weekend in Detroit. Delmar Glaze, former Maryland tackle, was drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders.
Tell you what, Jason, I was down there for the draft on Thursday. It was buzzing.
You've been a busy guy this week.
Your city of Detroit showed out, man. Showed out.
NFL record for draft attendance, 275,000 that first day on what was named Honolulu Blue Day, by the way, in the state of Michigan, April 25th. And they just backed it up the next night with another 250,000. Some trickery here. Notch will throw it this time and had a target. That got free on the back end. Had intentions for Ryan Manning, Glendale, Maryland native.
Watch the design of this play. Notch looks like he's running a reverse, stops, has a wide open receiver in Manning, and Notch just misses the throw. These are the kind of plays you rep in practice all the time. The coaches are trying to figure out which one of our receivers can actually throw the football. Notch may not get another chance at it after that throw. And he's going to be thinking about that one a ton.
Another thing to look at in the film room. By the way, on the note of Detroit and the draft, I have to give you grief on your 5 out of 10 rating of Detroit-style pizza. What are you thinking, Adam? I mean, I can't agree with. I agree with you on a lot of things. I don't agree with you on that.
I'm a pizza traditionalist, so give me just like regular pizza. I want a circle pie, thin crust. Like, just give me a regular pizza. Detroit-style pizza, it's so like thick, and I also don't know if the place I was at was the best in Detroit.
It's got to be crispy on the corners. Yeah. You told me the corners weren't crispy enough. I agree with you there, but we're going to get that rating up as your Detroit pizza experience grows. They don't blow this one dead. A big hit from behind on, looks like Nolan Ray made the catch there. He did.
How about, Jason, we've seen some trick plays now from Josh Gaddis in this Maryland offense. We saw a flea flicker. We saw the reverse double pass down the middle of the field, both of which were 0 for 2. But at least we're getting some creativity in a spring game. I like it.
That is true. Shout out Josh Gaddis. OC here at Maryland, showcasing every trick in the bag. MJ Morris rolling out. Morris will throw. They're going to blow this dead.
The exciting part for coaches, though, is Maryland's first game of the year. That they're going to go watch their opposition in the first half of the year is going to watch the spring game tape to see what they're putting on film. So now every team they play is going to go prep for those 2 trick plays, right? And Josh Gaddis knows that, so they're putting it on film to probably distract their opposition for plays that they got to now remember that they run these trick plays, and then we'll see a different variation of those plays in the season.
It's going to be a fun offense to watch, no matter who's at QB. They're going to go deep into that bag of tricks, like you said. A little deception today, maybe, to put on film. These QBs are trying to put their best foot on film. Speaking of feet going forward, here's a burst in the hole for Nolan Ray. They said he's put up the most wow plays on film all spring long, and does so there. Biggest chunk we've seen on the ground all day. It's going to be a gain of 49 for Ray.
Josh Gaddis told us Nolan Ray will make a big play on Saturday, and there it is. Using the speed, the vision to bounce it outside, finishes the run through a couple tackles. Ray's got a chance to be a big-time player for this Maryland offense.
All the DBs were asking, which team is Nolan Ray going to be on and of course ends up on the white team, and he's making some electric plays today. Ball was bobbled, but recovered there by Morris, and now a little stiff arm out on the edge there. Ryan Atchison using all 193 pounds there. Potomac native Ruben Hippolyte in the tackle.
The one thing Mike Loxley is going to say to his quarterbacks, and he's coaching himself, I guarantee you, is the ball has been on the ground way too much. The ball's been fumbled, bobbled around, dropped by the quarterbacks. The ball is the program. It's the only thing that matters for this football team. They got to take care of the football better.
Blitz came to the end zone for Wade. Did he get the feet in? Looks like they're going to call this a touchdown. Dylan Wade with his second explosive play of the game, and this one for a touchdown. They really like the size and the hands that this guy's going to bring to the table in the ball.
It's a great throw by MJ Morris, and even better catch by Dylan Wade. Getting the right foot down, the awareness that takes. Now, does he secure the ball right there? That's a touchdown.
Got the foot in with space between the toes and the white.
The question would be, does he have control of the football when the toe comes down? In my opinion, he does. That's a tight end touchdown for Dylan Wade. Coaches love this guy. He's going to have a big season.
Adam Brenneman, you love tight end touchdowns.
Defense.
There's one with under 5 to go
30 seconds
in this fourth quarter. You mentioned establishing the control and getting the foot down. They might. Yeah, here it is.
We see the right foot come down, but does he have the football in control with both hands when that foot hits the end zone? It's just an athletic play by Dylan Wade. It looked to me like he had it. Obviously, we're not reviewing here in a spring game.
Yeah. Gonna redo the extra
Listen,
point here.
I'm the replay official now, and it's a touchdown. That's what we're calling it up here in the booth.
Is it because the tight end caught it?
I was going to say, I'm a little biased. Yeah, I want points, man. I want points.
I agree with you.
Maryland's got 2 tight ends, though, Preston Howard and Dylan Wade. I think Josh Gaddis could be using that 12 personnel this season of using those 2 tight ends, then having Caden Prather and Ty Felton on the field at the same time. That's a really dynamic package with guys all over the field that can make big plays. And then you add in Roman Hemby at running back, add in Nolan Ray. I mean, this is one of the best skill position groups in the Big Ten.
Just trying to find out who's going to be the one throwing the ball to those wide receivers will be the question mark. But you've got the pieces there to throw to hand the ball off to. Shout out to the Maryland bands, braving the weather conditions today on a rainy Saturday in College Park. Maryland going into year 11 as a member of the Big Ten Conference, coming off a 3rd straight bowl win. Ball getting a little slippery out there now. It goes in and out of the hands of the intended target, Eli Mason. This Maryland program has a relatively light non-conference schedule. You can't overlook traveling to Virginia, but they've been 12-0 in non-conference games over the last few years as well. Only Georgia is a school that can match that non-conference record around the country during that time span. Zemansky trying to make the grab there, might have slipped out of his hands as well.
The thing that Mike Loxley's been great at as head coach at Maryland is winning the games you're supposed to win.
Yep.
And let's not take that for granted. There's a lot of programs around the country that don't win the games they're supposed to win. So that's the first step, and he's been really good at it. Now it's how do we win the games? How does Maryland win the game you're not supposed to win? How do they beat USC at home? How do they go to Oregon and knock them off? How do they beat Penn State? That's the next step, and it's going to take figuring out who your quarterback is as the first way to get there.
We're entering the final 4 minutes here, which means we're going to go into traditional timing to try to create more situational aspects down the final 4 minutes of this spring game. Have the 2-minute warning as well, one of the new implementations in college football in 2024, as we've been so accustomed to in the NFL for so many years. That'll add another layer of drama as we have a 4th down situation coming up here. 4th and 10. So just whatever situations they can try to get their quarterbacks experience in, they're going to go to today. This is Edge trying to make a throw into one-on-one, but it was eventually double covered and well covered back there in the secondary. Megan talked about that grandma's chocolate chip recipe type of work they want to put in. Michael Oxley, when he was at Alabama, he watched Nick Saban every day work directly with the cornerbacks in drills. That cornerback is another spot that's an open door in this spring game, and I say that just to epitomize the kind of work he's going to put in each and every day in practice and why they've gotten to this point of being able to compete with anyone and everyone.
And Michael Oxley coaching the quarterbacks, as we talked about, is such a unique part of this coaching staff. We talked to Josh Gaddis about it, their offensive coordinator, who Gaddis actually coaches the wide receivers, made the move to the wideout room so they could hire a second offensive line coach. So Maryland is investing, put your money where your mouth is, has 2 offensive line coaches, has Gaddis coaching the wideouts, and now Loxley hands-on with the quarterbacks. And to have a head coach in that room every single day is so critical because your head coach and your quarterback better be on the same page at all times. You can guarantee it will be for Maryland.
Atchison got the carry there. See if they start to move a little more up-tempo now. Red zone scenario for Billy Edwards with 3:25 to go. Dart across, but incomplete, looking for Ryan Manning.
It's a huge opportunity here for Billy Edwards on 3rd down in the red zone, 3rd and 4. Defense may bring some pressure. How do you perform when you got to throw the football?
Billy Edwards started 2 games in 2022, 1 last year. Has stepped in for Talia Tagovailoa at times when Talia was injured, also in that bowl game, again, Music City Bowl win.
Edwards here, you want to see him, I want to see him get the ball out quickly. If it's not there, use his legs, scramble, and keep your eyes down the field.
Atchison is his black back who leaks out, throws to the opposite side, and it's incomplete. Looking for Parker Jones there. Brings up 4th and 4. Maryland 16 all Big Ten selections last season, were the program's most since 2014. Edwards well protected, but there's better coverage downfield, so here's the legs. You talked about Adam, and he glides his way into the end zone for a 4th and 4 touchdown scamper.
It's a great job by Billy Edwards of knowing what your strength is. You can run the football, so if it's there and you feel the pressure, roll out. Great job here. He sees no one's there. As soon as he sees it, just tucks the ball away and runs. Let's see where he got touched here.
They reversed the call and marked him short. Looks like at the 2.
Down at the 2-yard line, which gives Billy Edwards another great situation to be in. At the 2-yard line, see how he does here, leading this offense.
And Adam, this is often where last season, last couple, you're bringing him in these type of scenarios.
Quarterback sneak situation, yep, exactly. And really in the red zone is where Billy Edwards' legs become such a threat. Like we just saw, in the red zone, teams are often bring pressure. And when you bring pressure, if it doesn't get home, you're in trouble. If it doesn't get to the quarterback, now you have no one in the back end to defend the quarterback run. So Billy Edwards can be lethal down here in the red zone.
So they're going to go on the ground here with Atchison. And looks like he came up short. Now, like you said, chance to move a little up-tempo. Back to the ground, back to Atchison, and this time he is in.
Well, Jason, the other thing you like about Billy Edwards in this drive was that his last couple drives weren't great. He missed some big-time throws. He's fumbled the ball at quarterback the previous drive before this one, but then looks polished out here, looks in control, has the confidence, made some big throws, ran a couple times. impressed by what I saw that drive from Billy Edwards.
One thing we're noticing as well is how supportive the guys in the yellow jerseys playing quarterback are today of each other. Edwards and MJ Morris next to each other on the sideline there. Extra point is good, 2:30 to go. See if the red team can maybe get another 2-minute situational drive in here.
This coming summer is going to be so important for these quarterbacks. It's not like spring ball ends and then there's nothing till training camp. They have all this time now with workouts, with player-led 7-on-7s, with conditioning and lifting with your strength coaches. That's the time that a quarterback can really cement himself as a leader, as the guy who's organizing the player-only meetings, the guy that's out there leading the pack when they're doing conditioning. And then whoever that leader is will have kind of the leg up as you go into training camp.
It'll be interesting when we talk to this staff again in the fall and hear who was the one that did that leading in the summertime. And fast forward to that point in time. And right now, each present moment is so important for this program. And building up on a daily basis, the conclusion of spring practice. Adam, after you finish up spring practice as a player, what's then the mindset going into the next stage?
It's identifying what's the one area we can improve in the summertime. For me, it was usually getting stronger or gaining weight. For some of these guys, it'll be speed or athleticism. For some of the quarterbacks, like an MJ Morris, the summertime is so critical to learn this offense. MJ Morris, who got here this spring, is still learning the system. He has to spend the next 3 to 4 months going through and understanding this offense extremely well. So when he goes into fall camp, he's not behind Billy Edwards in the understanding of the system.
So 2-minute warning, which we'll have in regular season games in the fall. You like the addition, 2-minute warning?
I love it. I love it. It just adds more suspense to that critical time in these games where games are won and lost in the 2-minute before the half and the 2-minute at the end of the game.
Also have helmet to coach communication with a player that has the green dot on their helmet, and the coach can communicate with them until the 15-second mark of the play clock. That's when it's the shutoff. That'll be another interesting dynamic for play callers and offenses this year. The 3rd and 1 for the red team offense and Cameron Edge. They try to get that 1 yard, and it appears as though they do. Leaping over was Eli Mason there to move the chains.
Balls at the 47. That's enough for a red team. First down.
Go to Mason, who creeps inside the 50-yard line with 1:40 to go.
Tackle by Dylan Fontes.
See if Edge tries to go to Octavian Smith here, top of the screen, this big receiver.
Nice catch, and this should be a first down. It will be, putting his foot in the ground and moving forward for some extra yardage. There was Sebastian Wyatt, Maxwell Brown on the grab.
Getting the tight end some more touches. Edge getting the ball out quickly, making a definitive decision.
Maxwell Brown changed from the white to the red team.
Eli Mason carries.
Samuels has really stepped up on that edge spot. He's been flying.
He has a lot of great skill sets you want in that defensive line spot. He clearly has good bend around the edge. He can accelerate, put his foot in the ground, and get upfield. He can also chase things down from behind. We saw him make some plays in the run game.
Down the sideline, Abbott is open and has the grab. Really nice dart of a throw that squeezed in there, and able to get the foot down is Abbott.
Perfect throw by Edge. Exactly where it needs to be, but little hole shot there between the corner and the safety, and then Abbott flipping his hips around, using that great body control, the ability to jump in the air and flip around while you're in the air, and then get a foot down, secure the catch. It's a huge play by Abbott. Really nice job.
I've liked what he's brought to the table today. Sets up a red zone opportunity with 40 seconds to go. See how Cameron Edge can manage this situation. This ball is bobbled, caught, intercepted, and headed the other way. Might be the second pick six of the day for the white team. It will be just that. 94 yards to the house for Jonathan Akins.
Well, for Akins, great things happen when you're around the football. Being in the right place at the right time and being a ball hawk. Ball gets tipped here, and then Akins just being around the ball and running to the football once it's thrown allows that play to happen. And then put the Jets on. Celebrating. Well, you see the teammates running down the field there with him. Caden Prather's basically in the end zone by the time the ball gets in there. What a way to put an end to the spring game.
Akins caps it off with a 94-yard pick six, and that will effectively wrap it up for the annual red-white game. And something to put on film for Akins to finish up today. 34-3, the white team wins it. Players will all come together here at midfield. Michael Loxley in the heart of that huddle, getting one final big word in for his group. Let's go down to Megan, who's with Caden Prather.
Caden, big win for the white team. Wide receiver-wise, your group, what did you see that was successful today in this game?
I seen our guys catch the ball, which is most important, and they moved on from previous plays that they didn't catch. And that's most important, just moving on and making plays for the team.
I know how close this wide receiver group is when it comes to your chemistry. What do you personally need to continue to do to improve into next season?
Just have fun. It's all about having fun. It's no pressure, you know. We've been playing football our whole lives, and, you know, people usually mess up when they, you know, take it too serious. But it's all about having fun, man.
You're playing with multiple different quarterbacks as well. As somebody who's in your skill position, how do you adjust to playing with different styles?
Really, before spring ball started, we were throwing together every Friday, every Saturday. So we all have somewhat chemistry with all the quarterbacks.
Well, congratulations. You get to eat steak and lobster, Caden. Thanks so much.
Steak and lobster going to the winning team. So Caden can celebrate and his group able to finish it off with the pick six on the white team side. Let's go back to where we started the day, Adam, talking about the QBs. What were your impressions of those guys today?
We saw flashes from all of them. We saw things that have to improve from all of them. Most importantly, keeping the football off the ground, protecting the ball, not turning it over. Jason, I really believe this is MJ Morris's job to go win. He has to go learn this offense. He's the most talented of the bunch, but it's going to come down to this summertime, and can he understand the entire system? Today, he was efficient. He got the ball out quickly. He looked good on the run. That's where he brings such a unique skill set, that being able to throw the football when you're moving around, and then when it's not there, escaping the pocket and using that speed to pick up big first downs. You see him kind of sit in the pocket, look plays off to the right, to the left, put it right on the money. MJ Morris did a nice job today. Just now needs to completely understand this offense and take control of this team.
MJ Morris, again, the transfer from NC State. It'll be interesting to see where he falls in this QB competition as it progresses. A dynamic thrower, dynamic with his legs. So Billy Edwards as well, Cameron Edge, Champ Long, all on display today. And a Maryland group, when you look at this schedule that they have coming up, Adam, we can kind of reiterate that you've got an opportunity going into that USC game to kind of replicate where you were last year. You were 5-0 going into the Ohio State game last year. Can you be 6-0 going into the USC game? Not easy to get there by any means of the imagination.
Not easy, but the second half of the schedule looks much different than the first half. The key game will be game 3 there. Can they go to Virginia and beat Virginia? If Maryland can, you got a chance to go 6-0, be ranked in the top 20 probably at that point. You're 6-0 in the Big Ten. You're feeling really good, and then host USC in this stadium. The place will be rocking.
Let's go back down to Megan.
Jordan, you had a big sack in this game. Your coaches have sung your praises on your improvement and how much you've been in the weight room and whatnot this offseason. What's been your biggest focus in the spring?
Just next play mentality. I feel like last year I got in my head a lot. I felt like, you know what I'm saying, just me growing up a little bit and knowing, you know what I'm saying, like one play doesn't define me as a player. And so it's just about next play mentality and continue to work on technique and fundamentals of the game.
You were able to get to the quarterback a couple of times in this game. What were you seeing that allowed you to make those adjustments and make those plays?
Well, first, it's just about game situations, third down, you know what I'm saying, third medium, third and 10, third and long, you know what I'm saying? Like, situations like that, I know I got to change my stance. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get off the rock, get to the QB. So, you know what I'm saying? I just got in the pass rush stance, got off the ball, you know what I'm saying, beat the guy in front of me, and just got upfield.
We're looking forward to seeing you next season. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Jordan, a part of a defense that only gave up 22.5 points per game last season, the lowest mark since 2010. They've got several returning starters on that side of the ball, and we'll try to piece things together. But we got our first glimpse at this Terp team today. One final thought, Adam?
Well, Mike Loxley has a big job these next few months. Find out who's going to be your quarterback, because you need a quarterback in the Big Ten to win games. He's got 4 guys that are possibilities. There's not many better at developing quarterbacks than Mike Loxley himself. He's coaching them himself. It's a big next few months for him.
Their first Big Ten game will be week 2 against Michigan State. They've had the Spartans' number in recent years, but they'll try to set the tone in Big Ten play week 2. So that shows up early on your schedule. A lot of work to do until they get to that point, but we got the first fun glimpse of it today. Had a fun time here in College Park, the annual red-white game for Adam Brenneman. Megan McEwen did a phenomenal job down on the sidelines, braving the conditions. Outstanding crew back in the truck. Director Justin Helm, producer Bart Fox. I'm Jason Ross Jr. Stay tuned for Rutgers Spring Football. Coming up next, this has been an exclusive presentation of the Big Ten Network